Your body knows before you do. It always does. While your heart is making excuses, while your mind is rationalizing, while you're telling yourself it's not that bad and maybe things will get better, your body is already screaming. It's sending you signals, warnings, alarms that something is deeply wrong. But you've been so focused on saving the relationship that you forgot to save yourself. Let me tell you something that might change everything. Your body doesn't lie. It can't. It doesn't know how to rationalize or minimize or pretend. When you're in a toxic relationship, your body keeps the score. Every cruel word, every cold silence, every moment of walking on eggshells gets recorded somewhere. In your muscles, in your gut, in your chest, in places you can't see but absolutely can feel. And here's the terrifying part. Most people don't connect the dots. They go to doctors complaining about headaches and insomnia and stomach problems and mysterious pains that have no explanation. They get tests done. They get prescriptions filled. They try everything, but they never once consider that the source of their suffering might be sleeping right next to them. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal 6 physical signals that your body sends when you're trapped in a toxic relationship. These aren't metaphors. They're not just feelings. They're real physiological responses to sustained emotional harm. And once you recognize them, you'll understand that your body has been trying to protect you all along. You just weren't listening. If you've been feeling exhausted for no reason, if you've been getting sick more often than you used to, if something just feels wrong in your body but nobody can tell you what it is, stay with me, because your body is about to tell you what your heart has been too afraid to admit. Let's begin. Signal number 1. You're exhausted, but you can't explain why you sleep, but you don't rest. You wake up tired. You go through your day tired. You fall into bed at night somehow even more tired than when you woke up. And the worst part is you can't point to anything specific. You're not running marathons. You're not working 3 jobs. On paper, your life looks manageable. But your body is running on empty, and you have no idea where the fuel is going. Here's where it's going. Into survival mode. When you're in a toxic relationship, your nervous system never fully relaxes. Even when things seem calm, even when there's no active conflict, your body stays on alert. Waiting. Watching. Anticipating the next explosion. The next criticism. The next cold shoulder that comes out of nowhere and lasts for days. This is what psychologists call hypervigilance. Your brain has learned that this relationship is unpredictable, that safety is temporary, that the person who says they love you can turn into someone unrecognizable without warning. So your body adapts. It keeps your stress hormones elevated. It keeps your muscles slightly tensed. It keeps scanning for danger, even when you're technically safe. And that costs energy. Enormous amounts of energy. Energy you don't even know you're spending. Here's the dirty detail no one talks about. You'll notice that you feel more exhausted after spending time with them than after a full day of work. You'll realize that weekends together leave you more drained than refreshed. You'll find yourself secretly relieved when they have plans that don't include you, because finally you can breathe. Finally, your body can stop bracing for impact. If you've had blood work done and everything looks normal, if you've tried vitamins and better sleep habits and nothing helps, if the tiredness feels like it lives in your bones in a way that rest doesn't touch, consider this. Maybe you're not tired because something is wrong with your body. Maybe you're tired because something is wrong with your relationship, and your body is paying the price for a war your mind won't acknowledge. But exhaustion is just the beginning. Signal number 2 attacks something even more fundamental, something you need to survive. Signal number 2, your immune system is failing you. You used to be the person who never got sick. You'd watch everyone around you fall to colds and flus, and you'd sail through untouched. You had a strong immune system, reliable, resilient. But lately, something has changed. Every bug that goes around finds you. That cold your coworker had last week, you have it now. That stomach thing going through your kid's school. You caught it too. You're getting infections more often, healing slower, feeling like your body has forgotten how to defend itself. Here's what's actually happening. Chronic stress doesn't just exhaust you, it systematically dismantles your immune function. When your body is constantly flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone, it starts to depress the very systems designed to keep you healthy. Your white blood cell production drops. Your inflammatory response goes haywire. Your body becomes a welcome mat for every virus and bacteria that comes along. And toxic relationships are chronic stress factories. They don't give you one bad day and then let you recover. They give you constant low-grade tension punctuated by episodes of acute distress. Your body never gets the signal that the threat has passed because in a toxic relationship, the threat never really passes. It just changes form. Here's something your doctor probably won't tell you. They'll see your frequent illnesses and prescribe antibiotics or antivirals or immune supplements. They'll tell you to get more rest and reduce stress. But they won't ask about your relationship. They won't connect the dots between your recurring sinus infections and the fact that your partner criticizes everything you do. They won't link your mysterious fatigue to the hours you spend analyzing text messages, trying to figure out if you're in trouble. But your body knows. Your body has always known. Pay attention to the timing. Notice if you get sick more often after conflicts. Notice if your symptoms flare when things at home are tense. Notice if you feel physically stronger during the rare peaceful periods and weaker when the chaos returns. If you've become the person who catches everything. If your medicine cabinet has grown while your energy has shrunk. If you feel like your body has betrayed you when really it's been trying to send you a message. The message is this. You cannot heal in the environment that's making you sick, but a weakened immune system attacks you from the outside in. Signal number 3 comes from somewhere deeper, somewhere you might be embarrassed to talk about. Signal number 3. Your gut is in constant rebellion. Nobody wants to discuss this one. It feels too personal, too uncomfortable. But I'm going to say it anyway because it might be the signal that finally makes you pay attention. Your stomach is a mess. Maybe it's nausea that shows up without explanation. Maybe it's cramping that doubles you over at random moments. Maybe it's bloating so severe you look pregnant by the end of the day. Maybe it's rushing to the bathroom with urgency that controls your schedule. Maybe it's the opposite. Everything's stuck and sluggish and painful. You've tried changing your diet. You've cut out gluten and dairy and whatever else the internet told you to eliminate. You've taken probiotics and digestive enzymes and peppermint tea. Nothing works. Or it works for a while and then stops. Because you're treating the symptom while ignoring the source. Here's the science your gastroenterologist might not mention. Your gut has its own nervous system. Hundreds of millions of neurons lining your digestive tract. Scientists call it the second brain. And it's in constant communication with your actual brain through something called the gut-brain axis. When you're under emotional stress, your gut feels it. Immediately. Directly. This isn't metaphor. This is physiology. In a toxic relationship, your gut becomes a sponge for anxiety. Every tense conversation. Every night spent wondering what mood they'll be in. Every morning walking on eggshells. All of it registers in your digestive system. Your gut responds to emotional threat the same way it responds to physical threat. It clenches. It spasms. It stops functioning normally. Here's the detail that might make you uncomfortable to admit. You know exactly when your stomach acts up. It's not random. It's when they're coming home from work, and you don't know which version of them you'll get. It's before difficult conversations you've been dreading. It's during family events where you have to pretend everything is fine. It's the morning after a fight when the silence feels heavier than words. Your gut is telling you the truth your mouth can't say. This relationship is making me sick. Literally. Physically. Measurably sick. If you've been diagnosed with IBS or chronic gastritis or any of those vague conditions that basically mean we don't know why your gut is angry. If you've spent money on specialists who shrug and tell you to manage your stress. If you've started mapping your symptoms and noticed they correlate perfectly with the rhythm of your relationship. Trust what your body is telling you. It has no reason to lie, but your gut processes the anxiety. Signal number 4 shows where your body stores the tension it can't release. Signal number 4, you carry pain that has no physical cause. Your shoulders are concrete. Your neck hasn't turned properly in months. Your jaw aches from clenching you didn't even know you were doing. Your lower back screams at you by noon every single day. You've been to doctors. You've gotten scans. You've tried physical therapy and massage and chiropractic adjustments and yoga. Everything helps temporarily, and then the pain comes back. Because you keep returning to the environment that creates it. Here's what's happening in your body. When you experience emotional stress, especially the chronic, unpredictable stress of a toxic relationship, your muscles respond by tensing. This is a primitive response. Your body is preparing to fight or flee. It's bracing for impact. But in a toxic relationship, there's rarely a moment of release. You can't fight. That would make things worse. You can't flee. You've convinced yourself you have nowhere to go. So the tension just stays. It accumulates. Layer after layer of unreleased stress hardening into chronic pain. Physical therapists have a name for this. They call it armoring. Your body literally builds a suit of muscular tension to protect you from emotional blows. Your shoulders hunch to guard your heart. Your jaw clenches to hold back words you can't say. Your back tightens because you're carrying weight that isn't physical but feels heavier than anything you could lift. Here's the detail your massage therapist won't tell you but probably suspects. They can feel the emotional trauma in your tissue. Experienced body workers know the difference between athletic tension and protective tension. They can tell when someone's body is locked in a defensive posture that has nothing to do with exercise or posture and everything to do with what's happening at home. And here's what you might have noticed but dismissed. The pain gets worse after arguments. The tension peaks when they're giving you the silent treatment. Your headaches arrive on schedule every Sunday night before the week begins again. Your body is speaking in the only language it has. If you've become dependent on pain medication just to function. If you've accepted chronic discomfort as just how life is now. If the tension has become so familiar, you don't even recognize it as unusual anymore. Your body is begging you to pay attention to what you've been trying to ignore. The pain isn't random, it's a response, and it will continue until you address what's causing it. But stored tension is the body holding on to stress. Signal number 5 shows what happens when your body tries to escape in the only way it can. Signal number 5. Your sleep has become a battleground night, used to be a refuge. You'd close your eyes and drift away. 8 hours later, you'd wake up restored. Sleep was simple, automatic, something you never had to think about. Now it's a negotiation, a struggle, a nightly reminder that even in the dark, you can't find peace. Maybe you can't fall asleep. You lie there for hours with your mind racing, replaying conversations, rehearsing arguments, anticipating tomorrow's conflicts. Your thoughts won't stop circling, and your body won't stop buzzing with low-grade anxiety. Or maybe you fall asleep fine, but you can't stay asleep. You wake at 2 or 3 in the morning with your heart pounding and your mind immediately alert. Not groggy, alert, like your brain thinks there's a threat, like your body is convinced something is wrong, even though the room is quiet and dark and technically safe. Or maybe you sleep too much. You escape into unconsciousness whenever possible, napping during the day, going to bed absurdly early, using sleep as a hiding place because being awake means being present in a reality that hurts. Here's the physiology. Your sleep is regulated by your nervous system. When your nervous system is dysregulated from chronic stress, your sleep falls apart. Your body can't transition properly between the stages of rest. Your cortisol rhythms get disrupted. You either can't wind down or can't stay down. Sleep becomes another casualty of the war you're living in. Here's what nobody talks about. Pay attention to how you sleep when they're not there. When they travel for work. When you stay at a friend's place. When they're gone for any reason. Do you suddenly sleep better? Do you wake up actually rested? Does your body finally relax in their absence? That's not coincidence. That's data. That's your body telling you exactly where the problem lies. And here's the darkest detail. Some people develop a fear of sleep itself because of what happens when they're vulnerable. Maybe your partner wakes you up to continue arguments. Maybe they monitor your phone while you're unconscious. Maybe you've learned that letting your guard down has consequences. So, your body refuses to fully surrender to rest because rest requires trust. And trust has been destroyed. If you've tried melatonin and sleep apps, and weighted blankets, and white noise machines, and nothing works. If you've developed elaborate bedtime routines that don't actually help. If the exhaustion is affecting your work, your health, your ability to function. Consider that you don't have a sleep problem. You have a safety problem, and your body won't rest until it feels safe. But disrupted sleep shows your body can't find peace. Signal number 6 reveals the most terrifying response of all, the one that seems to come out of nowhere. Signal number 6, your heart races for no reason. You're sitting at your desk, nothing is happening, no emergency, no confrontation, just an ordinary moment in an ordinary day, and suddenly your heart is pounding. It slams against your ribs like it's trying to escape. Your chest tightens, your breath gets shallow. Your hands might shake. You might feel dizzy or lightheaded, or like the world is tilting slightly off its axis. You think you're having a heart attack. You go to the ER. They run tests. Everything comes back normal. They call it anxiety. They give you a pamphlet. They send you home. But it happens again. And again. Random moments when your body erupts into panic mode for no apparent reason. You start avoiding situations where it might happen. You start living smaller, more carefully, more afraid. Here's what's actually happening. Your nervous system has been hijacked. Living in a state of chronic threat has fundamentally altered how your body responds to stress. Your fight or flight response is stuck in the on position. And now it fires, even when there's no immediate danger, because your body has learned that danger can come at any moment. These are panic attacks. And in people who are in toxic relationships, they often have a very specific trigger, even if you don't consciously recognize it. A tone of voice that reminds you of past arguments. A pause in their text responses that makes your brain spin worst-case scenarios. A certain look on their face. A phrase that historically precedes something painful. Your body has catalogued all of these triggers, even the subtle ones your conscious mind has forgotten. And when it detects one, it sounds the alarm at full volume. Here's the detail that might crack your denial wide open. Track your panic attacks. Write down when they happen and what preceded them. You might discover that they cluster around relationship events, after difficult weekends, before they come home, during the silent treatment, when you're waiting for a response to a text that might change everything. The anxiety isn't random. It's connected. Your body has learned that love in this relationship comes with danger, and it's trying desperately to protect you from a threat your heart refuses to acknowledge.